Hello and welcome to the Tea and Trails podcast. It's a bit of a clunky show this week.
We should put disclaimer, shouldn't we? Post 100 mile the next few weeks, guys. You're going to need... I think this is where people love it, though. These are the episodes post massive races where you can hear the tiredness in the voices. It's reality.
I couldn't face the Excel sheet.
This is a first, Gary. This is a first where I am actually... I'm shocked. I'd logged on and was writing my little bits and I was like, Gary's
done nothing.
What's happened? He's done nothing. What are we? We're Tuesday. Oh my gosh. This is the come down from these big races. Feeling you. They are so hard, those first. And lots of people will try and take a couple of days off because the brain just doesn't work, does it?
You're into these races, you think, oh yeah, I'll be fine. And then Monday, Tuesday rolls around and you think, oh goodness me, I am not fine.
You're not fine. You're not fine. The only thing you can do is, give yourself grace like we're doing this
Breathe
week.
and believe.
We're putting some stuff out. It's going to be an absolute...
But we do need to acknowledge our patrons and everybody else who supports us.
All right, here we go. He's back on the game now. He's like...
Kudos and high fives and big hugs to all our patrons and everyone who's joined Patreon over the last week. I have seen some new patrons. For the price of a cuppa, you can help keep the lights on. Yeah, we've all had a few Lake District cuppas over the past few days. They are not cheap, but you help keep the lights hot and the mics on and save big time and all your trail running essentials. Just like you guys, I dipped into my Patreon perks and I saved a small fortune in the lead up to the Lakeland 100, but loads of brands over there offering great discounts. I saw quite a few snoods and bobble hats out there on the trails too. Yeah, if you would like a snood or bobble hat, then all you need to do is add your address to Patreon. No address, no goodies. If you like a bobble hat, they are available via the Tea and Trails website, Snoods too.
Take a breath, take a sip of tea, let me take over. Thanks to X Miles Precision Hydration, Harrier Trail Running, Phoenix Light UK and Protein Rebel for all sponsoring our show. We apologise in advance for this one, but we're going to do our best. X Miles is a family-owned independent endurance sports retailer that provides nutritional goods and apparel and accessories to help athletes perform and recover at their best. X Miles offers a wide range and high-quality products from leading brands, and the team of nutrition experts, cyclists, runners and outdoor enthusiasts can provide expert advice and guidance to help you reach your goals. Whether you're a seasoned athlete or just getting started, X Miles is the perfect place to find everything you need. Listeners, you get 10% store credit at www.xmiles.co.uk via the link in the show notes. My X Miles trolley is open.
What have you got in your basket?
So I'm just planning different scenarios. So I've got a real meal bar because I have to carry 500 calories that I'm not allowed to eat. So I've got that, but I've also got some macadamia nuts, which are very high in calories for the weight to calorie ratio. I'm going to take those in case the macadamia nuts don't pass kit check.
I heard somebody was trying to get a powdered drink through the Lakeland 100 emergency calories, and I don't think that is going to be... what if you've got no water? You can't raw dog a sachet.
Could you? Should we try?
Way.
Then I've got some Chia Energy mini flapjacks, little ones, because the big ones are quite, if you're not feeling it, they're quite big to get down. Then I've got some 6-pack of Beta Fuel gel to mix in with my Precision Fuel and Hydration gels. And then I'll do a separate Precision Fuel and Hydration order for the good stuff. I think that's probably all I will take sports nutrition wise.
All I'll say from my experience, a plan A, a plan B, C, D. When I got to Dalemain and I scanned everything, it was the E I leaned on.
Yeah, that's exactly. I've got a massive box ready and there's just going to be multiple options of various things. So let's see how much of that I'll bring home. You go projects, if you're still in the market for cap, Gary and I were both sporting them over the weekend. You can pop over onto our webpage and patrons can receive 20% off. Do you know what my dad said to me? Hi, Dad. He said, I like it when you do your talk first because then I don't have to listen to Gary because I've no idea what he's going on.
Oh, my goodness. Destroyed me.
He's destroyed you. My
I was up and about.
God.
Dragged me down on a Tuesday. Oh, well.
Anyway, so I thought that was hilarious. So, Dad, you're in luck. I'm going first today. We had a lovely week off down from the Isle of Wight down to Wales with my mum and dad. Some lovely beach time. Wales is a little bit of an undiscovered gem. Like, I can imagine Cornwall at this time of year is absolutely rammed. We had some lovely beach days. Sea was warm enough the kids were happy to. There's nothing worse than taking your kids down to the beach than the sea being too cold and them not going in it. And you're going, oh my God. Kids were really happy in running in and out of the sea. Boys did some tanning. Hilarious. 5 minutes worth of tanning. They'd be like, are we tanning, Mum? Are we tanning? I was like, me. Some lovely little sunny jogs with the dogs. Little Tarkies. I think we're going to 20 minutes now. We're slowly going down in time that she was like.
It was lovely to see your dogs.
Oh, they loved it. They loved it. Everyone kept saying they're really well behaved. And I think the thing was we'd been in the car for 9 hours and they were
Exhausted.
like, what? They were exhausted.
How are you, though? Because you've done Isle of Wight, then you've been to Wales, then you're up the Lake District.
My tour of Great Britain, my ring is raging. Has anyone else ever had a raging ring? My God, it is so angry with me. I've never seen stats as low as on Sunday, where not only they were so, it was so confused because it was like, you've been to bed. No, you haven't been to bed. Have you been to bed? What are you doing? HRV of 18, Gary.
Oh, so you smashed the glass ceiling, you've gone through.
HRV 18, resting heart rate 63 or something. It was like
18. I thought you said 80. Oh,
no,
goodness
18.
me. Okay.
I think that's the lowest it's ever been. Yeah, so we had a lovely week. Left Wales Friday morning. I wanted to get to see you and I had quite a few athletes running, so I wanted a couple of hours to like trawl around the fields and find everybody and give me little pep talks, hugs, that sort of stuff. We left. Yeah, totally. I was going to give that out free to anybody. So we left Wales at 9, me, 3 kids, 2 dogs, car packed to the gunnels. I had to get up at like 5:30 to run the dogs, make sandwiches. Oh my God, by the time I got in the car, I was like, Sat-nav said arrive at 2 as we left. I thought, that's perfect. We can do that. You lied to me. We set off driving through Wales and the sat-nav kept going further and further. I was like, instead of it like going faster, it was like 225, 235, 245. I was like, no, stop it. I was like, this is lying. Come on, pull up the Google Maps, pull up Waze. We pulled them all up. All of them were like, arrival time 4. And I was like, what the hell? Lots of accidents, lots of traffic. It wasn't good. By the time we eventually stopped, our first stop, Gary, at 1:45, I needed a wee so bad. There was a queue to get into the services. Then there was a queue to get in the car, a queue to get into the service building, and then a queue to even get out. Oh my God.
And are these all families heading away on vacation?
Oh, just so many people. And I'd left the wee for too long. So I just run out the car and say, someone take the dog. And then as I got and saw the queue to get into the services, I thought I'm going to have to squat on the floor and just do this wee. It's just absolutely horrendous.
Love it.
So we didn't get to Coniston. When did I, like 5, I think, in the end.
Okay.
And then you guys were all in the briefing.
Yeah,
I think we got down to the field at like 5:20, and then the reception's not best. No offense, I wasn't so worried about not seeing you because I knew I'd see you. I was worried about not seeing my athletes that I'd really wanted to, see and stuff. So anyway, did manage to see everybody, and then we walked up to the gate a mile up that hill. I reckon, Gary, you need to train to get to that gate. You need, whenever you do your long runs, if you're training for Lakeland 100, you need to go straight uphill and spend 10 minutes tempo from nothing. I ran it then the next day, and I was like, right, I'll just check I can run up this. And as I was running up it, there's just a couple of bits that I was like, when there were hikers, so I had to pretend I wasn't like, I thought. But obviously, but I would say you want to get to that gate because then...
If you've got any aspiration of a time...
Honestly, I think if you want to go under 30 hours, you've got to run up that hill, get through that gate to get ahead. 15 minutes people were waiting to get through that little bit.
That would trigger
They were
me big
literally
time.
standing there. So that was great, though, because I got high fives from everybody. I forced myself on everybody in true Tea and Trails podcast style. Everybody will give me a high five. Loads of hugs, saw you guys, saw all the girls off. Everyone was looking pretty good, much better than I did when I got up there on Saturday. I was solo with the kids. We wanted to go to the Chippy. Massive queue, Gary. Massive queue. Cash only, no cash. I didn't have my bank card. It was back in the car.
Only. Oh,
Cash
no.
only. So I went to try and get some cash out the petrol station, but then I was like, oh my God, I don't have my bank card because I just used my phone. So dogs and kids now like slightly losing. So sent them all home. And then I was going around Spa like thinking, what can I make them that's got any nutritional value? So I grabbed pasta. I was like, right, what can we do? And also I don't know what's in this little house we're staying at. So I went for just the classics. Pasta sauce, tomato ketchup, cheese, ham, and some veggie fish fingers. And thought, Eddie, you can do this. You can cook a meal now. And peas. Come on, Eddie. Come on, Eddie.
Oh, we got peas.
So went back. Kids were so good. And I was like, really sorry, you're not having the chippy tea, I promised. And then I let them have it in like little bowls. And I said, should we have it in the sitting room with the TV on? And they were like, oh my God, what's happened to our mum? And then I put like a bit of extra ketchup in the tomato sauce. And they were like, Mum, this is one of the best meals you've ever made.
Holidays are great, aren't they? I love it. We were chatting about holiday cereal. Anything goes on holidays. I love it.
Anything goes. So also, yeah, we bought some holiday cereal then because I thought this weekend you guys are just going to have to fend for yourself and you do it.
So what's the vibe in Coniston when everyone's gone?
Still kicking, Gary. Oh, the chippy. Everyone goes chippy. Gets chippy tea. Still loads of people around because I guess the 50s are there. I saw the noise police there and they came and talked. Did they tell you off? My friend Jo was there. She was supporting all the Wild Heart runners and they told her and her friend Lee off for making too much noise.
I'd say one weekend of the year. Oh, goodness.
It is one weekend of the year, but also there was this like when the 50 coaches went or they were getting up at like 5 a.m. and there was a woman like hot cheering and hollering and I thought, we woke the kids up and I was like, oh, that is, people were very respectful. When I went out on the Saturday night, you'd finished at like 2 o'clock in the morning and the volunteers are all out on the road and they're all like, everybody is super quiet then. It's just that like early morning, but it was really noisy. So yeah, we've digressed a bit, but yeah, saw you guys off early bed because the next day was going to be epic. So I ran from Coniston to Ambleside to sort of do a bit of a long run and then caught Damo, Rye, Jarlath and Anna I saw on the way over, all in a varying mix of highs and lows. When I met Damo, he was stuffing a sandwich in his mouth. I don't know what he's listening to on his I think we need to tell Damo that you can get Aftershock earphones that you can download music on.
I saw a picture of him and he must have been running with Rye and Damo had his headphones on and Rye didn't. I just thought, that's a bit antisocial.
Oh, fair enough. I've done that before. If I'm running with someone and I'm like, oh yeah, you do what you do. But I did think, oh, Damo, come on. He's obviously using an old school iPod. I still use my old school iPod, but the wires, he's so tired and they were all like, I would so want to go, look, come here, give me a moment. Let me just sort these out.
It must be a nightmare for Damo because he might want a pair of new headphones, but he feels he can't until it's actually destroyed because, he's an advocate
he's going to run that iPod into... My iPod's still going strong. Eves uses it in the car, but you can't put any new music on it now. He was good. He was like fully chatty. So I timed the time between when I saw Damo and then I saw Rye, just in case Rye asked me like, what's the time difference? I thought, I won't tell you unless you ask me. And he didn't ask me because he was in a world of pain. And it was his birthday. He was still moving really well as well. The bit along the river after Chapel Style, they've redone the path. It's like some sort of like
crazy
bathing. Met Jarlath. He looked like he was out for 10K. He'd had a rough ride, but had come back together. So it was lovely to see, because obviously we just chatted to him and met him, to be able to see him again. And he was like, oh, it's just so nice to see someone. I've been on my own for hours.
I saw some pictures of the 50 as they were leaving Mardale. And even there, it was a conga line climbing out of Mardale. But the front runners, they don't see anybody.
It's a lot, isn't it? It's a lot. That's why when Damo needs his iPod. And then I saw Anna. She'd gone out hard. She'd ran hard. And she had a little few moments of tears and was like, I can't get my legs to run. And I was like, you don't need to run, Anna. You are smashing this. Just walk. Just let it flow, man. I was like, so have you had fuel? Have you had caffeine? have you drunk? And she's like, I've tried everything. It's really hard when you're in this situation and I don't know her. If it had been one of my mates that I've run a lot with, I would have been like, get that gel out of your bag. You need to not think and just swallow that gel, and you need to do that. If you're going to run, you've got to sort yourself out now. And the only way to get yourself running again is to blast your body with fuel, or just accept that you're going to walk.
It shows how fast you went out though. Like, what was it, 22 hours and 21 hours and 20 minutes smoking?
She said she walked from Trout Bay.
Wow,
She's
kudos.
got incredible long legs. Her walk is probably only Trish could keep up with her. Her walk is lovely. Such a humble, lovely lady. And then as I was heading down the last little hill into Ambleside, I saw Rory Harrison, Neil McNichol pounding up the hill. Those two, out of all those people, those two looked amazing, and especially Neil. And he was like full of beans. I was like, guys, you look amazing. He's like, you lie. And I was like, no, you honestly, those guys in front, you look incredible. Neil just looked so strong, so controlled. He actually went on, I think he overtook Anna, and he went on and had a really, and he dropped Rory, and he was, obviously really strong over that back end.
He's
of the
so
course.
strong, and he knows that course so well. Like, he knows when to push, when not to push.
Yeah, exactly. He was just like going up the hill, like with purpose, still moving. I think that's the biggest thing. He was the only one I saw that was really probably still moving with like proper purpose. He was still in the race. That is incredible point to be at post Ambleside. That's like life goals, isn't it?
I saw some pictures, him and Rory, like you say, at Ambleside, and both look strong.
I was the sweatiest, the most disgusting person, considering I hadn't put like any effort in, apart from when I saw Jarlath and I had to try and catch up with him. I was so sweaty and disgusting. I thought, I'm going to have to stand in Ambleside. And I had planned to maybe try and run back to Coniston because I wouldn't have a car. So I didn't want to take my kit off because I thought if I take that kit off, that is never going back on. But anyway, I was so sweaty and disgusting. I didn't know what to do with myself and I was getting freezing. I had to pop into one of those mountain shops and find like the cheapest t-shirt I could. And thought I was going to need to put this dry layer on, because I bought like coats but hadn't bought a dry base layer. Stupid, I know. And then where'd you get changed in Ambleside, Gary? Where'd you strip clothes off?
Anything goes in the Lake District, Eddie. I wouldn't have even bought a t-shirt. I
literally took my top off. Yeah, but then what would you do? Would you put? I had like coats. I thought, it's going to stick to my nipples. Nobody wants that. I just took my top off in the high street of Ambleside. I thought, oh well. I had bought myself chocolate milk, took my top off, got naked, got warm again, and then headed down to the Ambleside checkpoint to hang with. Oh, what a crew. That was shout out. We've got a shout out at the end of the Ambleside checkpoint. 24-hour shift. Those guys put in, Gary. I don't think you appreciated them as you went through. You were like, water, Coke. Debs came over, Anna Troop came over, loads of pals.
We got some TLC there. That was a special checkpoint, that, especially the energy of Ambleside as you come into it. Goodness me, the emotions. You felt all of the feels because you've done, goodness me, how many miles you've been? About, say, 90 miles. So yeah, you're pretty raw. And then to come into civilization. And we were quite fortunate because there was 5 of us for pretty much all of the race. So there was no solitude, but then to just be bombarded by all of that support and then see friendly faces too. It was wild. I loved it.
I loved the hours we spent there. They flew by. Lots of laughing, lots of cheering, lots of sweaty hugs. People were like, I'm so sweaty, I'm so sorry. I thought, you don't know what you're hugging. What's underneath this coat is an unsupported chest and a lot of sweat. And then Anna very kindly gave me a lift back to Coniston. She was going to cheer Richard on. He was just finishing the 50. Yeah. I had a female athlete running the 50. This is quite a funny story. So I saw her in Ambleside. She's competitive. She was 3rd at the South Downs Way 100. So that was quite a tight turnaround for her. And she came in, and the girl in front I thought was about 15, maybe even 20 minutes ahead of her. And I told her she was 10. I said, she's 10 minutes. I said, now's the time to race. I was like, get that Coke, get that. She's a Precision Fuel Hydration 90-gram gel. And I was like, get that gel down you. I was like, she's 10 minutes. You can take anyone for 10 minutes.
You can take it.
And she said, I knew you were lying. I knew you were lying. So then over in Coniston, seeing all the 50s. And I tell you one takeaway from the weekend, Gary. Down the finishing road, there was more men waiting for their wives than I've ever seen in any race, and more men with prams with kids waiting for their wives. Like, noticeable that I've never noticed a race before. When my kids were in prams, I was a minority, massive minority of a woman running ultras with kids. It was like, Bryn was a trailblazer. When I breastfed my kids halfway through an ultra. I remember people being like, what do you do? Like when I started weaning Finley and he wouldn't eat. So I stopped and squirted that food pouch into his mouth once because it was like, he'll only eat if I give it to him. I was like, kudos guys. They were there. I got quite emotional because they were like, here comes mum, and mum would be, and I was like, yes. Yeah. And the dad's like loving it just as much as like, there was just as much like women looking after kids as well. But I was like, that is noticeable. So that's incredible, Lakeland, that you fostered that women, feel that that's a good place to go. Maybe a lot of them, it was their first ultra. So then I set myself up, Gary, a night of passion, cheering on all my athletes. I slept for 18 minutes, I think. It wasn't about me though, Gary. I did manage to catch, that was my aim. Set myself a little process goal, see all my athletes in at the finish safely into the stable.
I was impressed from that side of things. I didn't really appreciate that. That's maybe what an athlete would get from a coach, and to see that, it really blew me away, to be honest. So kudos.
Well, I get invested. You get invested in these people become more than athletes. They become like you know the families. You meet the wives. The wives go, "Oh, you must be Eddie."
Well, I see with the
dogs.
listeners. The last 4 years when I've been to the Lakeland 100, so I do class a lot of the listeners as friends now.
Lovely being able to see you guys all finish, the boy band, all my friends finish, and then just to know what you like when you finish, just to have somebody go, do you want a bottle of water? Do you want a cup of tea? Do you need some food? Like you most people are fine. I think I should just finish with my kids, because I think this is what this podcast is all about. As we left Coniston, the boys said, we're coming back. We're going to do this together. When Rory's 18, we're going to train, Mum. I was like, I believe that. I bet you don't do any training.
They won't need to. Youth.
We're going to train and we're going to run it together. We love it. Like, they were like, do you think we could do it earlier? Do you think we could do it? And I was like, oh no, I'm pretty sure that like insurance won't. They were like, everybody's so friendly.
Yeah.
That environment is like, it is. And so whenever mums or dads or families think, it's all not worth it, this is all just too much.
Yeah. You never know who's watching. And chatted about this just before we start recording it. There's a place for all events. You have got these lovely fell races where 50 men and women will run up a fell and come back down again. But an event like the Lakeland 100, it enables so many more people because there's so many eyes on it, and you don't know who's watching. You don't know what's going on in there. Like, it is so powerful, the Lakeland 100. How many people is enabled to get out there and do scary stuff?
It blew my mind, Gary. Honestly, seeing all those people finish from all walks of life, all experiences.
They could bottle a little bit of Lakeland 100 fairy dust. Oh my goodness.
Also, I think finally the kids have realised I'm a big deal. I tried to warn them. I was like, look, your mum is a big deal. Your mum is a big deal. Everybody is going to want to talk to her. Like, this is, this is just kids. You're just going to have to accept it. But they loved it. They loved seeing, they hear us twitting away on the computer. They loved meeting you. They were so invested in you, and they loved meeting lots of listeners and
lovely kids,
cheering everybody on. Yeah, they were all right. They were all
engaged.
Right.
I was really impressed with how engaged, interested they were. Lovely family.
I will stay. I was like, they wanted to stay. They were keen to stay up. Like, they wanted to stay up all night. And I thought that is not, that's not going to end well. Right. Let's talk about your lead up into the race before we talk about your race.
All of the signs, all of the metrics that I track, luckily trended in the right direction. There was no sandbagging opportunities going into this year's Lakeland 100. So that was good. I did my 2 mile marathon pace. Why? I'm not too sure. I also did some heat training on... Actually, no, I tell a lie. So I did the 2 mile marathon pace, and then I ran home in this kind of ad hoc heat suit, just so I didn't lose. It was like a really, really low heat training day, but it just meant I could keep the numbers in heat adapted. But I don't think I actually did any heat training, maybe 5 days before the race itself. But yeah, it felt great. No issues whatsoever. So we went to the YHA. We saw Julia, Angela Gray, Nicola McNally. People who've done the Dragons Back race will know Nicola too. Also, loads of listeners in the YHA. For a night before a race, I don't remember ever having such good sleep. It was incredible. And I put it down to my special sleepy tea bags. I did wake up. I was waking up, so I don't think I had huge amounts of sleep. But normally, you might be the same. I will just be lying awake.
Awful.
Not particularly stressed, just too much stimulation.
I go to a dark place the night before a race. I like, my insides are like horrible, but Good.
So I must have had, goodness, 7 hours of sleep. But I was pretty pumped when I was sitting down at breakfast, and my watch was like, I think I was like 84% ready to race.
Ready. And then how do you spend that day? That day, like, oh, it's a horrible start time, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I get out of the field as soon as possible, and we were sent down to the naughty drivers field because we got there too early. So they sent us down to the Bluebird Cafe, and eventually they said come back at 9 o'clock. And even then, people left at like 5 to 9. They just couldn't wait. So yeah, at 9 o'clock came. Then we went to the normal field. Thought I'd do kit check first, do all of that, and then I put my tent up. And then it's just relax, eat, relax, chill, eat, toilet, chat, repeat until 4 o'clock. It is wonderful. You know, I really do appreciate all of the encounters. I really do enjoy meeting our listeners. But a simple trip to the toilet takes me probably 20 minutes longer than maybe other people. Yeah, I wouldn't change it for a world though. I can't express enough how much I enjoy being in our tribe, being with our people. I think I said to a few people over the weekend, I sit in this little room here, I record the podcast, then I'll be head down editing for hours and hours and hours and hours, probably maybe 16 hours in total for the 2 hours of content that we put out every week. I don't really see many people apart from my family and the Thirsty Thursday crew. So come to the Lakeland 100, I'm like, they might not even want to talk to me, Eddie.
Touch me.
I'm the one that's initiating all the conversations. There's not other people coming up to me.
You love it. I think our listeners prefer you to me. There was definitely more. Yeah, that's fine. I get that. I prefer you to me as well. I think people were so invested in your race and your journey into the race as well. Everyone I met was like asking how you were doing.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
So yeah, after the race as well. Yeah, we're starting to know the clique. Yeah, it was great to see people that had volunteered at our race, and then some were volunteering again at Lakeland 100. I hung out with a couple like at 2 o'clock in the morning. I was like, you guys are amazing. You are such better people than me. So yeah, race briefing, how was that? I saw a bit of it on the big screen. He was getting everyone to touch each other. I was like, what is going on?
Somebody's water bottle leaked on the floor, and I was just sitting in this puddle of water. I thought it was mine first of all. I was like, oh my goodness me, but it wasn't. Yeah, it was somebody else's. But I wanted like kind of fast forward a bit, and then we'll go backwards.
Okay.
I crossed the line again feeling really bruised from the Lakeland 100. That sickness, not physically, not like previous years where abductors gone, quads have gone, I've just not been fit enough for the time I was shooting for. That constant maybe 19 hours, 18 hours of feeling nauseous. Not always been sick. I don't think I was sick once. I went through the motions of doing everything apart from physically bringing something up. So that made me reassess if I wanted to do Northern Traverse at all.
I'd heard that before you even came back. You'd already said that to somebody, maybe at Delmain or someone. Who, did you say it to Mel or someone? Because I was like, that grapevine is fast.
Well, I think Mel was expressing the same kind of sentiment too, because we were both on the struggle bus later on in the race. We were going through different things, but yeah, and the thought of eating anything was turning my stomach. But yeah, I wasn't physically sick, I don't think, but it just takes its toll, and then it reframes all of your eating. And eating is a huge part of any of these ultra races. So every time you watch Beeps, I'd say the first 6 hours, fun times. I even got through Braithwaite, which is normally the point where everything comes up, everything is uploaded for everyone to see. I got through there, and that was quite like an uplifting moment. But I do remember this. So this is something I need to remember in future races. Running down into Braithwaite, which is quite a fast descent when it comes to the Lakeland 100, and I felt my tummy turn. I just thought, wow, is it that extra motion of kind of jumping up and down, going down this hill?
What is the time as well when you're running down to Braithwaite? Time of day? How many hours have you been running?
You've been going about 6-ish hours.
I honestly think, like, so when I saw so many people finish, every single person reported sore feet, macerated feet from the wet at the start, and every single person said they felt nauseous or they'd struggled. There was a lot of sickness, and I do think the 6 o'clock start, then you have like 5-6 hours, as you said, of like able to fuel, and then you get to that middle of the night fueling when the body goes
no more,
which is when you need that fuel. You know, that's the most important time, that first half of that race.
It's miserable, but it went beyond the fitness. You know, I like the chance. I love the training.
You don't. You know, you're talking to the person
So
I
I
think
just
a
thought to
professional
myself,
nausea.
I can't do however long the Northern Traverse takes me. What's it going to be? You probably know better than me. Maybe is it about 4 days, 3-4 days?
Three and
for
a
the Northern
bit, yeah,
Traverse?
depending.
I thought I can't face that. I could face my quads have gone because that's something that was kind of under my control to get myself in the shape for the start line. But the nausea, I honestly, I don't think there's anything some people can do about it. I just think it's the roll of the dice on the day. Everybody I spoke to, yourself, Anna Troop at the end, everybody else, Lisa, my wife, everyone said, don't make any rash decisions just yet.
But you did, because I've seen the emails.
Well, yeah, and then we've moved on to the 13 Valleys, and I just thought I'd give myself a break. That I love the 13 Valleys, I love the route, I love the philosophy of going in and out of all the 13 Valleys, but physically and probably more mentally, to be honest, my head's probably more bruised than my body from the Lakeland 100. I just wasn't prepared to have the next 7 weeks stressing, especially with the holiday involved, which I'm not going to hopefully run for the 2 weeks, and then go into literally finish the holiday, do a couple of weeks run, and then it's taper time. So my taper is going to be more, my taper mileage will be more mileage than the miles I've done the 2 weeks prior to it. So I thought just give myself a break. If they'd allow me to swap my 13 down to a 7 or a 5, then that's what I do. And thankfully, yes, I've seen the email. Phew, everything is always here. Fun times end of September.
I'm very proud of you for that, because we could go back a few episodes when I said that is a do not do that. And you went, Eddie, I'll be fine. But you didn't need Eddie to, that was a totally good rash decision, as you said. You did.
Well, I was
not
wondering
need
about what message it sent out, and I think it's the right message. That sometimes when it's not right, you've just got to put your hand up instead of toughing it out and it all going.
There's no point to toughen. Yeah, you don't need to do that. You've got nothing to prove.
Spoiler, I think most people know there's 4 of us started the Lakeland 100 together. We never, Robbo and I had kind of loosely planned to stay together as long as we could. I thought Liam would shoot off because he's significantly younger than us and he's in good shape. But, you know, the old Terex team trotted on.
So were you all together? Because I don't know the other guys. I only know Robbo. So I gave you both a lot of moisture at the top of the at the gate. But were you all together then? Were you all together then right from the beginning?
Everybody, yeah, Liam, Phil, Robbo and myself. Every step of the way we spent together. Apart from we were coming off Sail Path and Phil took a tumble and we didn't realise.
Oh, you didn't realise and you left him, you guys.
We stretched the elastic, but I think Liam looked back and realised Phil wasn't there, so we regrouped again. But yeah, that was basically the tail of it. Somewhere on the coach road, I think Robbo said basically, you know, if Gary and Liam, if you want to go off, then that's fine. Everything's okay. Me and Phil will stay together. But we had a little debrief and we thought, stay together. At that time, I was feeling fantastic. Robbo thinks I could have done some 24. I don't know. Who knows what would have happened five hours down the line? In theory, yes, but I think probably the reality is if we all split it up, we probably would have finished 20 minutes separate from each other. So for the sake of say 20 minutes, what is the point in spending all of that time alone? So it was a mutual decision. We never mentioned it again. You know, that kind of, sometimes you have that kind of pressure of somebody who's really dominant on the day if you're trying to stay together. There's none of that. There's good vibes after that. But before Breakthrough, we picked up Jason Livesey. Keen listeners can go all the way back to when I did the tour to Helvellyn and I interviewed Jason, and I'm pretty sure that was Jason's first ever ultra, and then we shuffled up behind him climbing Sail Pass out of Buttermere, scooped him up. He was quite happy to stay with the group. He knew that's where there wasn't much banter, but
was there not much banter? Was it quite quiet?
No.
Was it quite quiet and just
very
breathing
quiet.
breathing
for
and
having
Adidas Terex rustling of your shorts?
For having 5 people together, I would say the banter.
It would have been a different story if it was 5 girls, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Like focused on the heart rate zones, you'd have heard us come in a mile away.
But that's the beauty of, you know, when you run with your partner or real close friends, you don't have to talk. You don't have to make small talk.
Did anybody put their hand up and be like, can we slow down a bit, guys? Like up climbs?
I would do the classic, should we do a little jog? Should we do a little jog? And then I would do the...
Yeah, love it.
I'd do the countdown, 5, 4, 3. And I think Robbo was like, oh, God, how was 5? maybe I should do a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 1. And, but the deal was basically everything that looked like an incline. We would walk and then we would run as much of the flats as possible. But, you know, that section after Ambleside, when you drop down to Chester's by the river, you've got quite a long runnable section up to Chapel Style. So we did walk some of that. We didn't just run everything like that. So we give ourselves...
I wondered how you would handle that in the 100 when I was running back over it, because it's probably about 5k worth of running, which is physically hard. hard when you've run that far, but mentally as well. Like you actually do need to walk some of it to just allow the muscles to.
Yeah. It was just a minute.
Relax.
That's all it was.
Is that what you did? Is that how you broke it up?
But nobody was like, oh, can we have 5 minutes? Someone would just stop and walk, and then the rest of the group would stop too. It was pretty just this kind of silent democracy, really. It worked. Yeah, it worked really well. Can't complain about that.
I think a lot of people were asking me, like, did Gary get his time? Did Gary get his time?
Oh, that's the first question I got. So
I know,
many
and I
times.
saw then when I was with you after the race, everybody, you handled it like a pro because everyone that you had put it out there, like 6 months ago, that you were going for this 24-hour.
I still think I can do it, Eddie. I don't know if I'm nuts or not, but I still think I can do it.
But then why did you stay with the group then? Why did you not go, oh, this is the pace, I've got to keep that pace?
I have thought, yes, I was walking just with Lisa and Rex this morning. I thought, am I crazy, Lisa? I really think if everything goes well, if I can nail this nausea, I think I've got a 22 hours in me. That's how confident I am. Maybe that is a wild swing. But I've not, unless somebody asks me about the 24 hours, I've not given it any time. I've not mourned it. I've not done anything negative around that number. To have that experience with 5 mates, I'll be curious to know if in any of the Lakeland hundreds over the 18 years, 4 people have started that race together and finished together. That was more important. This is how Thirsty Thursday crew. You know, Phil's an adopted northeastern lad from Yorkshire. Well, we're 4 rough lads from East Durham. To go over the lakes and we train every week and then to start that race and finish it together without any real major dramas. That was such a treat. I think if I'd have left the group, it just wouldn't have sat well with me. It forced me to make right decisions. Liam had to take his shoe off for something. It basically was a blister, but I thought I had a pebble. It felt like a big stone in my shoe. I checked it out about Mardale as we dropped down to Haweswater. It must have been bothering me for about 15 miles before that. But it took Liam to stop, for me to stop, to check it out. Turns out there was nothing in there. It was just the start of a blister, which then I had for the rest of the race, which is quite uncomfortable. But so yes, I probably would have went faster, but I probably would have made terrible decisions, eaten even less.
Exactly.
Not check myself out.
And the fact you weren't getting the fuel in anyway.
Yeah, I think that played into the day too. So when I've checked back at my heart rate, because even though I was like drip feeding myself, so basically my fueling turned from, started off with the flow gel, precision fuel and hydration, drink mix, that everything went down well. I had some mint cake too. I had some beta fuel gels. All that was fantastic until I started throwing up basically. And then I limped on with Active Root. I would have had the precision fuel and hydration drink mix, but they don't sell it in individual portions. I know I could have portioned it out myself and put it in Ziploc bags, but yeah, for some reason that was too much of a challenge for me to do that. So I just had the sachets of Active Root. So that meant I could limp on calories wise until Dale Main. And this is something that Jarlath said that resonated with me, that maybe some people at least are trying to eat too much carbohydrate. So I could eat 1 block of mint cake every time my watch beeped. If I tried 2, that wasn't working for me at all. So I could do the 1 and then whatever the 30, 40 grams of carbs I was getting from my drink, that wasn't triggering me. Apart from when I basically spilled Active Root all over the top of the bottle and I tried to drink it and I just got raw ginger sugar, and that was absolutely horrible. But because my heart rate was so low, I think it was like about 100 beats a minute, I think I was probably tapping into fat as much as needing the glucose and the sugar to fuel me. Energy was always there. It was never like, oh, I'm kind of dying here. But what I did notice was like a premature muscle fatigue. And I think that's just because I wasn't feeding the muscles. And that's definitely played out with DOMs. The DOMs are like DOMs I've never ever had before. But as far as body mechanics and moving, yeah, I was tired. I'm not going to say I wasn't tired. Definitely was tired. And yeah, going up Jacob's Ladder wasn't fun times, and coming down wasn't fun times either. But our race was going great. So all the way up to Blencathra, I was checking this is when I enjoyed looking at the splits. I did check it again once around Haweswater, and I said to people that, wow, even though we've slowed down significantly, we were still on for 24-hour pace. I knew we wouldn't be because we were just getting slower and slower and slower, but we made it all the way to Mardale under that. I think it's like 13 minutes and 40 something seconds you need to do. But at Blencathra, we were 30 minutes up without being physically too stressed. And then, like I said, after Blencathra, we did slow down quite a bit. But I didn't mind, every time if somebody wanted to walk, I was like, yeah, let's have a walk.
I love that too. What a way to do a race though, and then to still come away with a really great time without having to go mentally, like Jarlath said, I've had to be pushed, come on, run, like all the way through. So I stood at Ambleside, I saw the checkpoint crew, I saw the the goods on offer, I did not take.
Yeah.
I did not. They did make me a cup of tea. They did make me a cup of tea. Obviously, I know. There wasn't anyone at the checkpoint. It was early doors. I was providing the vocal entertainment, so I did get a cup of tea. They were incredible. 24-hour shift, Gary. 24-hour shift at those. And that's a lively checkpoint, so I'd have thought that's probably quite a popular one to get on.
Energy for all that time they've got.
The energy they bring to every single person was greeted with a "what can I do? What do you need? Can I take your rubbish?"
You know, when you go into shop sometimes and maybe one of the shop assistants is on their phone and stuff like that, and they're like, "Oh, goodness me, really? I've got to serve somebody." Not at the Lakeland 150. Any checkpoint, any race is wonderful. Somebody will give up their time so we can go out and have fun. It's absolutely, it's a pretty special thing. And I know people can then get an entry to a future race. For some people, at least, that is the motivation. But for most of them,
it's just, they just
eternal volunteers.
want to help.
Yeah, they do it and do it and do it. Along the Lonely Coach Road, you'll tip up at the Hardmoors checkpoint. Just a little safe haven as you're coming out of the dark. Apart from, I treated them to a full, dry, heaving visual experience as I left the Hardmoors checkpoint there. But all of them are great. Then we saw Rich Price being on the podcast before over at Howtown. Then you go over to Mardale Head, and that is such a big checkpoint. And I think it's such a big checkpoint because historically that's a bit of a
you're destroyed when you. That is a great.
That was a high point because I ate a sandwich. That was really significant because then going back to the Northern Traverse, I thought there possibly is some potential light as far as this food's concerned. I felt like I was popping pills all day. I don't think I overdosed on anything, but I took the anti-nausea tablets. They allowed me to get something down. So Dale May and I had one of these. It was just from the Co-op. It wasn't anything fancy, just like a meal replacement shake. So I got about 400 calories, 50 grams of carb and 35 grams of protein. Like when Popeye eats his spinach. Not quite that. The legs just sucked it all in. It was incredible.
Your head goes, it's like in Disney when the birds sing around, da da da.
Well, because 500 calories, that's quite significant. That's that's not a big meal, but that really rejuvenated my legs.
How much did your pack weigh when you started? Did you know?
I don't know. We all anecdotally lifted each other's packs up. I wouldn't say mine was.
Who had the lightest pack?
I think I did. I did, but I had a lot of fuel around my waist belt.
So when I took my clients' packs from them, at the end of race or before, they were so heavy. Yeah. Highs, lows. What was the best bit?
The night, I absolutely adore running through the night. It's not something, well, apart from winter, we do get to run through the night quite a lot. But in that race environment, seeing all the head torches, Black Sail Pass, you look back on yourself, you see all the head torches coming into Wasdale, Buttermere, climbing up to Sail Pass 2, Glendoterra, all of that is absolutely incredible. But that highest high has to be the fact that, I know we scooped Jason up, but just the fact that all the Thirsty Thursday crew could stay together. I did not think for one second that all four of us adopted an extra one. 5 of us would do all that together. It's impossible to really describe it, but I just don't think each of us individually will ever forget what that meant. And then, it was a bit of a cliche. Maybe some people were like, really? But, we all held hands going over the line, which was I think it was quite emotional. I think we all...
Oh, it was. I had a little tear.
I'm sure it was me that said it, which is... That's really out of character for me to do anything like that. I'm quite a...
And normally I'd rip the pee out of you for doing something like that. But as I was there and I witnessed it, I could only feel... I loved men supporting, not being ashamed of it. Men supporting men. Yeah. Most, there's a lot of bravado and we're the toughest guy. This is the most brutal race. And you guys just being raw and being honest and being all that went out the window.
Well, that was a sentiment. We were there just wanted to be together.
You guys are cute, as the teenagers say. That's cute.
Lowest lows has to be the nausea, and you'll know it's such a common theme with these long races. So that is always there for me, and that will always give an element of fear. I know it's going to happen now. Maybe one day it won't, and it's wow, this is the year. This is when it's all going to go well. But that's definitely
that's what I'm holding on to.
That amount of time in your own head. I can take a blister on my foot.
Me too.
But the process of eating the mint cake was just scrape a bit off, fill my mouth full of whatever liquid was in my bottles, and just wait for it to kind of dissolve and slowly drink it down. But then it would take 10 or 15 minutes to do that. I've got this mint kick in my hand for ages. And then
I
before
know.
I knew
You're
it,
holding your hand
my
and
watch would
eventually...
beep. It would beep again. My watch would beep again. And be like, oh, really? Oh my God. Like sometimes the watch would beep and it'd be like, no way, that's been 30 minutes. It cannot. So you've just got hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of that. And that takes its toll on anyone. But because I did manage to eat at Mardale, there is after Mardale, so I don't remember any nausea really after Mardale, although I didn't want to really risk it again after Mardale. So I was having the smoothies at Kentmere. Anytime I saw watermelon, that was on the menu. Definitely I'd take some of that. Maybe there is. Maybe you do go past it. I think Anna Troop said that. She went, basically puked herself through the sickness. And then for the last chunk of the spine, the summer spine, it was okay. So yeah, they're definitely the highs and lows.
So when I was following the women's race, obviously, closely. So I saw Anna, then I saw Charlotte Fisher coming through, saw Sarah Page. Both Charlotte and Sarah were running, no offense, guys, they were running and fueling better than the guys. They were super strong, both had super strong finishes. And then next was Mel having the race of her life. And you saw her, so someone sent a picture of her at Dalmain and you were behind her, sitting next to her on the chair with like your head in your hands. And I was like, is that Gary? Oh no.
We saw Mel and Matt Neal and Matt Dunn. They came into Dalemain after us, but crushed their admin. And I just had to basically sit there and do some stuff, basically go through my A, B, C, D, E, F, G nutrition plan. Mel sorted herself out, and Matt, they did too. And then they went out and we did yo-yo with them. Oh, I think this is correct. We yo-yo with them up until the climb up to Fusedale, and then they pulled away. In between that, actually, we saw Sharon Dyson as we come out of Dalemain, so that's always great to get a nice hug from Sharon. The run around to Howtown, that's always nice, Miles, you're moving quite well, but yeah, you've got to prep yourself. Again, anybody who's thinking about doing it, 50 or 100, take your time in Howtown. You've got a huge climb.
Biggest climb on the course.
Yeah. But I don't mind it because I'm so familiar with it.
It's not a tough, it's just long, isn't it? There's not bits where you're like, look up and go, oh my God,
there's a couple of
so
bits. There's a couple of bits where it is steep, where it is pretty steep. And I never took my poles. I thought, no, I'm going to just be pure on this in this run. I don't know why, but I took. And I thought actually it was funny going up Fusedale. I thought, I don't know why I remembered a podcast with Courtney DeWalter, I think, where she said she went, a vision really suffered after a race. I don't know if she went fully blind, but something happened to her during a race. And as I was going up to Fusedale, when I was looking down at the grass, everything was fine. But then when I'd look up, it was completely blurry. And I didn't say this to anybody else because I thought, well, what's someone going to do? We've got no opticians amongst us in the group. So there's no point in kind of projecting my stress on anybody else.
You're just tired then.
I think it was that morning, the morning air, maybe a bit moisture, and then going from that kind of close focus to far focus. But yeah, it didn't kind of pan out to anything else. But anyway, we saw Mel again as we came into Mardale. They totally disappeared, so we thought, wow, they're long gone. But they were leaving Mardale as we came into Mardale. And I thought that's the last time we were going to see Mel. But then you said, I think when we were in Ambleside, Mel just passed through not too long ago. We saw her in the distance and we slowly caught up. And then she tried to latch onto the Terex bus. And we got to Chapel Station.
Who wouldn't? You gave her a ticket. You pulled her on board and she was like, wow.
But she was struggling too. I think the food, the same as everybody else, pretty much was just a struggle for Mel. But she did smash. I saw that. One of the highs was basically saying Mel Sykes with a bowl of custard. No forks. She couldn't be bothered to get a spork out of a bag, I think. So she just kind of latched her lips around the bowl and took it all in.
What a woman.
And then she ran with us for quite a bit. But she disappeared. I think I don't want to share Mel stuff.
Well, let's just say she took a comfort break. Let's leave it at that. When you're holding your innards in, you have to just do your own thing, don't you? I'm sure she appreciated the time she spent with you.
But that was the last time we saw of Mel. I think somebody said when we were at Thwaites, Mel's not that far behind us. So I thought, because as people yo-yo in a race, I thought she's going to catch us up and probably go past us because nobody in our group was in much. We were saving ourselves for the sprint finish in Coniston, so nobody had any appetite.
So right. You didn't do a sprint finish. The only person I saw doing a sprint finish was Zoe Murphy, who I was standing by the petrol station and she came past. I joke you not, I got dropped down that hill. Excellent. I had fresh legs. I'd only done 18 miles. That's nothing. Up 6 down that hill. She looked so good. I was like, and then you get to those barriers and I was like hanging over the barrier going, I can't say
We're in Thwaites, still no toasty. In every year I've done the Lakeland 100. I wonder if you can go back and flash a past medal and say, five years.
Toasties,
I've never had a toasty. Can I have a toasty? But yeah, I know it's only 3 miles to go, but it's just a perfect one last bit of TLC and encouragement. And my experience during, especially a race like the Lakeland 100, because of the podcast, maybe I need a handicap, Eddie. I don't know, because I think I've got such an unfair advantage. I get so much support from other runners, people on the checkpoint, people listening to the podcast. It is constantly positive. Never ever felt like, oh my goodness, man, I just want to keep my head down and get out of here. Nobody talk to me. This is probably another high. Last year when I was in Thwaites, I was not in a good way. I apologise last year if I wasn't my best self. So I was super pleased to be there. I was super pleased when I left Braithwaite and I wasn't puking. I was super pleased to be in Thwaites and I wasn't just literally on death's door staggering up Jacob's Ladder.
Robbo said he took the lead down the descent off, down through the mines. He was like, I'm going ahead. Nobody do anything stupid. The copper in Robbo came out.
Yeah. Well, there was one point, Liam was ahead. This was quite early doors. And Robbo was like, get Liam off the front, because he had the freshest legs out of everybody, so we didn't want to kind of stretch that elastic too long. But yeah, Robbo took the lead going down the steps, kept us all in line. And then once you reach the miners track, it's quite a cruisy run in. And then the energy as you come into Coniston is it's like nothing else. Absolutely fantastic. And going down the school road, going over the line, 5 of us together, I just couldn't have wished for a better ending to. Is it my last Lakeland 100? I don't know currently if it is. Definitely not next year.
We should give a shout out to Matt Neal. Both Matts ran a great race, but Matt Neal, I never know if Matt listens to the podcast. Does he listen to podcasts? I put him down that he wouldn't listen to podcasts. But we've run with him, we've done recce's with him, and that was his 16th. No, he's done. No, I'm going to get
He's only missed one. He's only missed one.
He's missed one Lakeland 100. And you know what? That was his fastest. Was his fastest. That's inspirational. Kudos to him. Kudos to everybody.
Matt. I saw some parts of Matt Neal I never thought I'd see in that race. I think there's photographic evidence. Ask Mel Sykes.
I think we should finish our little Lakeland 100 chat with kudos to everybody, not just the runners. The runners, as you know, as I know from being the spectator and cheerer, I'm sorry, that is so much harder than running. The stress of it and the trying to get to places, and then the exhaustion of a really long weekend. So if you're a spectator, a volunteer, a pram pusher, a tea maker, a kit carrier, a tired runner, pants offerer, kudos to you. Your work may be unsung, but you facilitate people being able to do great things. And so we have to thank you. And then, if you did the race, if you did it as your first ultra, second ultra, if it had been a long journey, to get to there, tough, everybody highs and lows, if you didn't finish, you didn't finish. That's part of your journey. A hard week this week, reflecting on if things went wrong, what do you learn? But you also just move on, come back stronger or come back different. Don't come back, do something different. But if you're out on the trails, you crushed the 100, crushed the 50, heavy flex to you guys. Well done, Gary. I loved our many sweaty embraces. I think our tally of sweaty embraces has gone up again. There was a lot of unsolicited contact with everybody. Robbo, all your crew. I threw myself at all of them.
We should say thanks to Mark and Terry, though, and all the kind of core team for enabling that event. I hope they appreciate, and I'm sure they do, because we get emails from listeners to how we've kind of touched their lives, and they will experience exactly the same. That race is so important and enables and motivates and inspires so many people. And just from a charity point of view, the amount of money they raise, it is just 100% positive from start to finish.
And thanks to all the people of the Lake District as well that put up with
for putting up with
they
us.
Definitely don't listen to the podcast, but put up with the traffic, just the increased infrastructure that they're not got the infrastructure for that weekend.
I just feel blessed that for 2017 was my first Lakeland 100. I had a big gap, but for
what
such
a journey. That's such a long time.
That's wild. It's absolutely crazy.
Amazing. And I love that Lisa's thinking of doing the 50 as well. It's exactly what it's all about, isn't it? Your wife or your husband or your friend going, I want a slice of that.
because I was talking to a few people about this, and I was worried. The way I verbalized it was, I'm allowing Lisa to do this Lakeland 50 this time, like she can get on the trails. It wasn't meant to be that. Like, Lisa's wanting to do the Lakeland 50, and I just feel if I enter a race that needs me to go and train on those trails,
You can't.
then
No. Yeah.
we'd both be competing for time away. So I'm consciously gonna step back and I'd love it. This is how we could. I'm always, thinking one step ahead, reframing stuff. If I'm training for the Northern Traverse, I need to get my hike game on. So maybe there's quite a few miles we could share together. She'll get to know the Lakeland course. I could do some quality hiking miles too, and we'll spend some awesome time together. Maybe even George will come along. That would be awesome.
George needs to hang out with Finley and Rory a bit. They could become the next Adidas Xterra next boy.
Should we do a bit of kit chat though? For people be interested in the deeds of the kit.
I am so interested. Let's delve right into your kit bag, Gary. What's in there? Let's start from top to bottom.
Top to bottom. Head torch.
Cap. Head torch.
Oh, I had my Tea and Trails You Go Cook Projects cap. Head torch was the Phoenix head torch. Oh, goodness me, what is the model of it? It's the one that's super popular and everybody uses. That was incredible.
Have we been sent the new one yet? You've sent me a package, but I haven't had time to open it yet. Is it the new one?
That's the first thing I do when I go through the door. I open the packages.
Well, I know, but I just haven't priorities, so I've been saving it. Is that got the new one in there?
That's got the new one. The one that I use is
You didn't use that
older
one, though. Okay.
Purely because, so the new one has a little red light on the back, which is fine. And it does seem a more robust product, but the flip side of that, it's a little bit heavier than the one that we both already got. That's purely all it was. I knew the lumens were fine. I knew all that was fine. It just was a little bit lighter.
Do you have a backup head torch? What do you have?
Yeah, I carry the little Petzl Bindi as the backup head torch, just in case. But I was a bit excited with my lumens, and I think I had it on full burn, and I burnt the battery out too quick. So the Phoenix is a great thing. It goes onto this limp mode, which lasts forever.
And you can, if you're on a road, it's fine. The limp mode, I've done that too.
So the combination of the limp mode and the head torches, I didn't need to. Initially, I was thinking, what is going on here? Why is there weird shadows? Because my head torch wasn't really producing that much light, but then everybody else.
Did you have it on full night, full? Because I think it's 4 hours, 4 or 6 hours at full.
Yeah, it conked out early. It conked out early. But that was incredible. Hydration vest, the Ultimate Direction Ultra Vest 12. That was incredible. Loads of room, stretchy pockets, no bounce. Maybe could have went up to a size medium instead of the small, but it fit. I was just on the extremities of everything. I don't know what the actual technical name is of the Terex shorts, but they're 5-inch shorts and they've got a built-in storage pouch. And I'm not joking, they're zero bounce. And also, I didn't use my trekking poles, running poles, but they've got pole loops in the back too. I think Phil needs to tighten up with elastic because he's kept on dropping down around his arse. But my experience is there's been zero drop. The poles, you can get them in and out. It's always a bit of a faff anyway when you're tied with poles. So it's not like, oh, wow, this is super simple. But incredible product. I had Summit socks on and I did get a blister, but I'll be amazed if I didn't get a blister over 100 miles when your feet are wet for the majority of it. They were good, and they are also over on Patreon if you want to save a few quid. Adidas Terex Speed Ultra. I'm not sure if my average pace took advantage of the carbon plates and the super foam that they use. I did have a blister, but other than that, absolutely no issues. I think it crushed all the terrain. I was a bit worried about being unstable on some of the technical stuff over at the lakes. I rolled my ankle a few times, but no more than I would have done in any other shoe. They're the significant bits of kit. I didn't use my waterproof jacket or anything like that. Luckily, all that was fine. Do you want a tip? Top tip, I think.
Is this life tip or is this running tip? Because I'm in the market for either.
Either. I'll give you a running tip. I just think get yourself out on something similar.
Specific. Yeah.
Yeah, because it will be such an unpleasant surprise. That's just the first climb out Coniston. If you've never done that, because I think you could technically qualify for that race, maybe say do one of the Centurion races that are a bit flatter or something, and then go to the lakes for the first time and just think, what's this 2-mile climb straight out of the door? What do we do?
I think as well, I was thinking about this when I was running over to, I'd run around the Isle of Wight and then I'd been running on the coastal path, like smooth running, really non-technical running. And then suddenly I was like, oh my God, I've not run on technical terrain for a long time. Eddie,
Yeah.
you've let yourself go a little bit here. That's sort of like looking ahead and that fast feet. And I thought one of the things that saved me a few times when I caught my foot or I needed to emergency, what I call the emergency exit when you're like, I chose poorly, is your core, like being strong. So if you're not able to use that terrain, having like bulletproof quads, really strong quads, really strong hammies and glutes, and then like a core that can stabilize you. That pack is so, as in the words of the Scottish kids, so heavy. Yeah. You have got to be, I think, if you can't get on that terrain, get your body as strong as it can be to take the changing direction, the moving with a pack.
I would also print out bigger splits. I had my little split card, and as soon as my eyes were going to be wobbling.
Yeah, I'm working on that for Race Across Scotland now, and working what I'm giving to Debs and Rachel, and then what I have in my waist, because that is crucial to my success, as we know, is the planning side. Planning, not so, I think in 200s, not the times, because they can go out the window within 6 hours if something goes wrong, but the distances and the climbing and just knowing what's up ahead and just breaking. I
just couldn't see it. We were coming into a checkpoint. It should have been like, if I'd have used a bigger font, maybe I could have done that. I've got to work out of the week.
Shut up. You're doing it this week? Go on then. So, Gary, we ask all our guests. Oh, my God, what's your workout going to be? I'm going to have to heavily edit this.
Well, yeah, you can edit it. But I think as a takeaway, being quite specific to the Lakeland or any trail race where there's some significant climbing, I loved my uphill up-tempos. I was ranging from between 30 to 40 minutes or whatever people are comfortable with doing in their level of fitness. Whatever angle on the treadmill, I think I was doing about 8. It's tempting just to go 15%, but yeah, I think I was doing about 8. Something on Netflix that's going to last for an hour, just so you don't have to skip an episode. That zone 3, you can have a little bit of a conversation with somebody on the next treadmill if you have to. That high zone 3, I feel mentally for me, yes, I can do that. I don't dread that workout. And I feel that does serve me well for some parts of the race where you've got to kind of move at an effort for a long time going up a hill. I did appreciate those workouts.
We appreciate you, Gary. We appreciate you. You did amazing. Your preparation, faultless into the race. Your eye for detail, incredible. The way you handle yourself, Gary, you're a inspiration of a light. You give nothing but warmth and light out. And I was like, when you'd finished, and I was like, Gary, the kids want to see you. Where are you? You could have so easily have gone, for God's sake, Eddie, I'm trying to have a shower. But you're nothing but positivity to everybody that's around you. And that goes to show when everybody was around going, the first thing everybody said to me, no, like, Eddie, you're right, look a bit tired. No one interested in Eddie. Oh, no. How's Gary? How's he doing? And then when I said like, he didn't quite do the 24-hour, but he's super happy. And they'd be everybody, the next response. And I think maybe you didn't hear this as well, because that people would ask you would be like, that is amazing. He did amazing. Like, so you did do amazing. We love following your journey. Thanks for sharing it so openly. And I think probably this is the least wrecked you've been. I know you're super tired, but obviously your training towards it was outstanding, and I know mentally that you're done, you're cooked, and physically you're ready for a bit of a break, but kudos for coming out of that all in one piece, DOMS, but that's to be expected. And thank you for sharing it all so openly as well. As you always say to me, your trauma, Eddie, doesn't need to be content.
We've not used that for a while, have we?
No, well, don't worry, a couple of weeks time.
Thanks, Eddie. Well, thanks, everybody. I do say it quite often, I feed off the community. I enjoy interacting with people and everyone's positivity. I loved it from start to finish. Everybody who I met, and even if I saw this quite a few times on Facebook, I saw you over there and I was too shy to come and say hello. Yeah, it means a lot.
Throw yourself at us. The only time I got a bit flustered, Gary, well, 2 times I got a bit flustered. One was when I couldn't find the cash in the spa. And the other one was when you were coming in and somebody wanted a selfie and they were the other side of the road and I was like, I don't want to, should we wait? And then I was like, let's just embrace, let's get this done. But
You got some grace though. I cocked up the Northern Traverse finish. So
yeah, she did actually say that, didn't she? She said he wasn't there when you finished. But we love meeting. It does make it all, this is a slog. Let's not lie. Sometimes the podcast is hard work. It is a grind. But then meeting everybody and hearing the stories, and our inbox is full of people with lovely messages. We will get to them all, of people that have gone out and done the Lakeland, and the podcast has helped them. So it is incredible to meet you all and see you all out there cheering, volunteering and running. You're all equal legends.
Can you indulge me in a little shout out? Sorry, I did forget to mention my good friend Aaron Gawley. He lives in Wingate.
Yes,
he is another
Aaron,
slate finisher. He didn't run with us, but he is another slate.
I saw him at the finish and I was quite off my tits myself with tiredness, and he was like, Eddie, and I was like, yeah. He was like, it's Aaron. I was like, yeah, well done. Yeah. Shout out.
We've wanged on. We're not going to do quick five.
So we have wanged on. I've been watching the clock going, you had normally, you would have called me.
It's a lot of indulgent chat.
You've loved it. Yeah, I know the picture that's got to go out with this Instagram story. I can see the picture.
The boy band you didn't know you needed.
She's like that. What's the song?
It's a song by a band called Cherry Ghost. Do you know them?
Gary.
Well, goodness me,
cool.
this song's been covered by another artist, which you probably will have heard. I think the cover artist was more famous version than Cherry Ghost, but it's a song called People Help the People, and I think that's quite fitting.
What a choice. I haven't got my phone because I can't look it up on Spotify, but I'm sure it's a banger.
It's not a banger.
Oh.
Might make it cry a little bit.
Oh no, shed no tears.
I've got this playlist on my phone, which are my no skip songs. If they ever crop up, they won't ever be skipped, and that's on it. And I just thought, scrolling down, and I was like, that's the one.
We're pretty strict on our script normally, Gary, but my gosh, we've gone wild today. I love it. It feels like a holiday episode. So we should finish by saying thank you to Harrier Trail Running for sponsoring the show. They've got a couple of exciting things coming up. We're not doing the Strava Club and stuff this week, but Sana Duffy's going for her Pembrokeshire Coastal FKT again. She got injured just before the end. I think that was back in April, so she's going for that again. Best of luck with that. Look forward to tracking that. They've also got a summer clearance sale with great offers on waterproofs, hydration and other best sellers from about the middle of August. So if you're in the market or thinking about little bits you might want to pick up, maybe wait there for the summer clearance sale as well. Protein Rebel are going to bring us home, finishing off this crazy podcast. Gentle on your stomach, driving your performance. Whether you're trying to get a PB, training for your first marathon, or completing your 10th ultra, Protein Rebel products are easy to digest with no artificial additives, providing both performance and overall health benefits.
What are you up to? I'm off to Viva La Spain. You got anything planned?
Have I got anything planned? You're hilarious. So I've done a reverse mini up and down taper because last week was half my normal load, no workouts, no strength. I'm going to have a 75% training week with 2 little mini workouts this week, which normally I would do. So last week, so I've just swapped the weeks. It's not ideal, Gary, but that's the way it's going to work. I know I'm going to feel better for being in my routine this week, focusing on what I can do. I'm going in the sauna, my little homemade sauna every day. I'm focusing on all the good stuff. I'm trying to get my 8 hours sleep. I'm already laid my kit out. I'm getting super organized. Mental focus starts now. I'm just being quiet, being present. Turned off my social media for 2 weeks before the race, Gary. I think that letting that dopamine, not needing that dopamine, not the scrolling is a important part of letting your brain know that it's going to be by itself and it needs to be quiet.
It does depend on how you're wired, though. For some people, that would give them some stress if they turned off all their social media.
Really, it gives me absolute joy.
Yeah.
And I spent an hour yesterday doing I always joke about yard work, but we came back and our garden was in such a state. And I loved it, Gary. I thought I can see after the race where I'm going to be, my middle-agedness is heading.
Oh, could I have a coaching bit of advice? Do you think, I'm not necessarily going to take your advice, but do you think I should take my trainers on holiday with me?
Absolutely. Yeah. Because I think as we get older as well, like definitely you have a week off after the race. But then the second week, if you might there's nothing better than a holiday jog, is there?
Yeah,
Holiday
explore.
jog with Lisa. Yeah. And you can walk and jog and you'll just feel cranky lanky. You'll feel oofy doofy. But I think getting moving is good. Doesn't need to be more than 10 minutes, 20 minutes. But I definitely, not your vapor flies.
I love, I love that morning. I think I said it before, when the town's waking up.
Yes, it's the best.
All the smells and the noises.
Yeah, and I think getting back into if you're used to like you are, you have an early morning walk or a jog most days. So all my 100-mile runners, I will give 1 week, just eat.
I Googled top 10 runs in Malaga. And because we do long stuff, so we're not shy of a 20 miler. But that's not the norm. Most people want to do a 5K or a 10K. So this Malaga website, it's giving me 10 runs between 3 and 6 miles. Malaga. So yeah, I'm going to get those GPXs and see how I feel. Thanks for tuning in. We love you for listening. Please share this episode and the pod and share the love. Pop over to Instagram, Facebook and YouTube and subscribe, or even consider being one of our awesome patrons. Thanks to X Miles, Precision Fuel and Hydration, Phoenix Light UK, Harrier Trail Running and Protein Rebel for sponsoring this week's show. Remember those discount codes: T10 2025 for Shocks, T15 for Protein Rebel, T-Time 2025 for Precision Fuel and Hydration, and T10 for Harrier Trail Running. Thanks to our partners and patrons too. We couldn't do this without you and your ongoing support.
Good luck to everybody if you're out racing, if you're out training, recce, solar miles with mates. Hope they fly by listening to our twittering.
And it was awesome to see Reverend Lawrence Basham over the weekend. I saw him a couple of times. Saw him at the start, and I also saw him in Braithwaite too, in the darkness.
Yeah, I saw Lawrence absolutely hammering up the hill from the school with his kids in tow. The kids were dropping him a little bit. Obviously going to see Mum, Gemma, finish the 100. We saw that you finished, Gemma. It's just over 39 hours. Double nighter. Super kudos. Well done. Amazing effort. Let the trail rise up to meet you. The wind always be on your back. Be kind to your future self. Breathe and believe. Roll with the joy. And the miles will look after themselves. My name is Eddie Sutton.
And my name is Gary Thwaites.
And that was the Tea and Trails podcast.